welcome to In My Mug, episode 305 on Monday the 15th of September 2014. I am your host, Stephen Layton. Welcome to In My Mug, as always. Let's go and look at the news. Okay, so we should get on with the news. From hospital bed to half marathon. So last week I was telling you about how that I picked up my bed and walked after pulling my back and having a prolapse disc. Last Sunday I ran the Great North Run, as you can see from the photos on the screen. I had lots of fun. People of Newcastle, you are very, very lovely, even if you do support the wrong football team. But yeah, that was me being an idiot, but also it was preparation for something even more stupid that I'm doing this weekend. So this weekend I am running, I recorded this a little bit earlier because I'm running the Marathon de Medoc. It was a warm-up to do a full marathon in fancy dress in Bordeaux in France, where instead of water stations they have wine and cheese stations. And it is well known for lots of people being quite drunk as they run around the 26.1 miles inebriated. I'm very, very much looking forward to it. I'm also very, very frightened. I promise that next week I will bring some shots of the said stupidness and silliness if I survive. I have no idea what time I'm going to do it in, but we shall see. A little bit of fun and something definitely different. Looking forward to it. It should be lots and lots of fun. And carrying on from what I've said the last couple of weeks, do not forget collaboration roast. The collaboration roast between Has Been and 3FE Coffee in Ireland, which I am one of the co-owners of 3FE. We are doing a collaboration together. So Roland from Roland Da Fact fame, he's getting on an aeroplane and he's going to Dublin. And Simon, who is one of the roasters at 3FE, he's going to roast the El Salvador Finca La Lujon honey that we had quite a few weeks ago now on In My Mug. But they are going to have that exclusively. They're going to be the only ones selling it. It will be no longer available from Has Been. And they will be roasting that batch there in 3FE bags as part of 3FE. And then Monica, who is part of the 3FE team, is getting on an aeroplane and coming from Dublin to Stafford. And she's going to spend the day with Iba Gum Gary. And they are going to be roasting the La Lujon natural selection that is not been on the website yet. In fact, we haven't seen it for a while. It's the famous natural that was used by Alejandro Mendez, the WBC champion of 2011, in his cappuccino round, and is an all-round delicious coffee. All this is happening the 24th of September, so you have to pre-order before that date by going to the URL that's on the screen now, go.hasbeen.co.uk/collab. The natural is going to be an In My Mug at some point in the future, but we're talking way in the future, and you're not going to get a chance to try them side by side unless you buy this pack. It's an exciting, one-off, original, unusual thing to do. It's good because the roasters get to work with each other. It's good that the two brands get to come together, and I hope that I see more collaboration between roasters in the future. And it needs to be successful, and we need to show that it can win to do that. So please get in with your collab orders. And the t-shirts that Money cannot buy, the In My Mug t-shirt that I showed you last week, I want more mugs. You haven't sent me the mugs yet. Lots of you promising me on Twitter and on email, and they have still not come. Send me a mug, you will get a t-shirt. All you need to do is send the mug with the details, send me your address, and you will get a t-shirt sent to you. Oh, also send me your size as well, because that's kind of quite important. And that was the news. So we should get to focus on, and focus on, last week was on the Cup of Excellence, which is a little bit silly because this week's coffee is a Cup of Excellence, because enough of you pestered me and bothered me to say that you wanted to see the coffee that I was talking about last week, the Escocia. So instead I'm going to talk about the department that it's come from, which is the Al Sultan department in El Salvador. Al Sultan comes from the Nahuatl language, meaning city of the ocelots, and is a department in El Salvador in the southeast of the country, kind of down in the Lenica region. Capital city is called El Sultan as well. It's El Salvador's largest department. It has an area of 2,130 square kilometres and a population of over 360,000. Interestingly, the department was created in 1865, and more interestingly, June the 22nd. I don't know how they know the exact date, but I guess some parchment was signed somewhere on it. The city of El Sultan is the department's capital and was founded by the Lenica tribe as well, but has been conquered by lots of tribes over the previous years. There's amazing beaches in the area, and it's a tourist area that's trying to be developed and trying to be improved and made better. El Sultan, the capital city of the department, is the 5th largest city in El Salvador, and in 2006, this is the only population I could find, has a population of 71,636. Pretty specific. Mainly agricultural use, gets very hot, has some quite varied altitudes as well, so it's quite up and down, because you've got the Pacific Ocean, and then you've got the mountains where lots of the coffee is grown. The city was really quite badly damaged in the Salvadorian earthquakes of 2011, and also by Hurricane Mitch in 1998. Has a very interesting town centre where it has a really old church and a town hall and a cinema, all in the central kind of part of the town. But then just on the edges where lots of the town was damaged, you start to see lots of modernisation. And one of the best facts I could find out about the city was that it does have a Polo Campero. If you've ever been to El Salvador, you will know what that is. And that was Focus On. So this week's coffee comes from El Sultan, and it is called Finca Escocia. It is an SL28 varietal, so a Kenya varietal, based in El Salvador, and it's a washed coffee. The farm was initially acquired by the grandfather of Joanna, who is the current owner, and he was called Harry Adams Butter. And he came to El Salvador from Dundee in Scotland at the end of the 1800s. And at the beginning of the 1900s, moved to an area called Berlin, which I will show you on the map bit. It is a town in El Salvador, not the Berlin in Germany. And he saw the opportunity to buy a piece of land that is now managed by a 3rd generation family of coffee growers. It's quite different to the normal area we buy coffee from, and again I'm going to show you that in the map bit. And it's really great that I've been able to find a coffee in this area. I've been searching for a very long time. So when we cut this, it was something I jumped all over, and I'm really excited about it. So when Johanna first acquired the farm, there was only 16 acres, but that's been increased to 180 acres by buying land in neighbouring farms. And not all of the additional acreage that's been bought has been bought to plant coffee. There is also like a native forest. The varieties planted are mainly Bourbon and Kenya, the SL28s, but also lately some Pacas and a varietal I've not heard of, which is called Cusacaleto, which I'm going to definitely try and find some more about. But lots of the farm is left as natural forest, flora and fauna, lots of native trees and species and wildlife all living on the farm. This is a Cup of Excellence lot, so we bought it from the Cup of Excellence auction, and it's the first time in a very long time we've exclusively bought a lot. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, when we cooked it, it jumped off the table. It was really special. It was something super, super different. The area also jumped out at me as something really, really different. You know, we have a lot of special, unique relationships and amazing coffees that has been from El Salvador, but this one just pushed so many buttons. It was so different that we all got really excited about it. There is also the part that while the auction was on, I was away and I left Roland in charge of the bidding, and Roland got auction fever and I think got a little bit giddy and spent a lot of money on this coffee. But I actually think it's worth it, and I'm really, really excited to be sharing it with you on In My Mug. This is going to be a £10 bag of coffee that you're getting on your In My Mug subscription, so I hope you enjoy it. The farm is called Finca Escocia. It's owned by the Caledonia Limited Company. Closest city is Berlin in the region of El Sultan in El Salvador. Has 178 hectares, has an altitude of 1,200 metres above sea level, is an SL28 varietal, and is a fully washed coffee. And why am I doing that every time I talk? I don't know. So we should go and see Roland's daft fact for this week. And I hope Roland isn't doing this. For the first time ever, I'm going to show you just an image on the screen. This image shows the highest murder rate in the world. I do like it when Stephen goes to El Salvador and drives all the way through to Honduras. I hope he does it again soon. Oh. How very hurtful, Roland. Thought we were friends. He wants to see me murdered in El Salvador. These are incredibly dangerous countries, and seeing things like that make me remember that I should be careful when I travel. Anyway, we should go do the funky map bit. So hello again, here I am, I'm waving and up and away, and we're going right up. Come on, let's get up and away, and we are going to go across the Atlantic. So we're going to go to our left, which we've been doing a lot of, I know, but I think this week you're going to find that it's definitely worth this journey. So we're going to zoom down to Central America, and it's the time of year that we see all of these centrals coming through. This is one of the latter ones to arrive, but it's been well worth the wait. And let's go to El Salvador, which is a tiny country. Think of El Salvador, think of the size of Wales. So not Scotland like Escocia, but think of the size of Wales. The daft fact is that El Salvador has never won an Olympic medal. I find that sad. That's really mean. Poor El Salvador. It does only have a small population, so we'll kind of forgive it for that. But let's zoom down to the details. Now, this is the spine, and I've talked about this spine a lot when we've been talking about El Salvador, the Santa Ana spine into Arshapan. But if we zoom up, this is Escocia, and it's all on its little lonesome. So let's zoom down. And luckily, it was a very clear day when the Google Earth satellite was overhead. So you can see the drying patios there. Where the little flag is the house. And the coffee goes down into the crater, and it also goes up the hill. And I talked about the town of Berlin a little bit earlier. So let's just zoom down. And if you look in the distance there to the left, that is the town of Berlin. Not Berlin, Germany, but Berlin, El Salvador. So in El Sultan. So you can see the town there. Now, if we zoom back up, let's pull back up. And then if we go down, I'm going to show you the crater to the left there. So if you just look to the left, this is a truly volcanic area. This has been, you know, there's been some pretty horrific stuff going on here at some point in the past. And we can see there that the lowest point is the ocean, which this department goes to. And the highest point is 2,738 metres, which would be no good for coffee. Really, the highest you can go is about 2,100. But that was the funky map bit. I like cool map bits when they come off like that. I think that one was really good, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Really nice to get all the detail, and that crater's really impressive. Definitely a farm I'm hoping to go and visit in January this year and not get murdered, Roland. I don't want to get murdered. So I'm going to whack you on pause. I'm going to go and get my tasty and delicious drinks with my own mug, because nobody sent me one. Nobody wants one of my t-shirts. And we're back with you in just a moment. So I am back, and I'm going to dive straight into the espresso first of all. So, quick smell. And listen, it smells like an El Salvador. And when we were cupping it, it smells like an El Salvador. And on the initial hit, it tastes like El Salvador. You get the caramel, you get the sweetness, you get the milk chocolate. All of the things you expect from a great El Salvador. Then, boom! You get this beautiful acidity. And in the espresso, I'm getting real papaya. It's kind of like, it's just so fruity and clean and sharp and Kenyan-esque. I know that SL28 is telling me it's that, but it really does have that Kenya kick to it. So before I move on to tasting the other drinks, we have got something special for this one. There are some coffee shops that are participating in this event, and hot off the press, Gary, if you can pass me the results. Say hello to Techno.
Hello.
Right, thank you, Techno. There are 6 coffee shops that are going to be stocking this as a guest coffee next week. You've got Columbus and Smalls, who are taking the biggest one, so thank you, Maxwell. Then we've got Didn't You Do Well, didn't they do well, sorry, in Bristol. And we've got Shrewsbury Coffee House, we have Esther's in London, we have Hermitage Road in Hitchin, and Coffee Aroma in Lincoln, all taking it as a guest coffee. You can go visit those coffee shops. If you want to find out more about it, go to the blog post that I put up on http://Escocia wholesale, and that will take you to the link. So yes, we should go into the other drinks now. For my brewed coffee, actually I'll do the cappuccino first. Let's go into this one. So this is quite topical, this coffee as well. Escocia, Scotland, and the they have their vote over this coming week for independence, and I'm very rarely political in my mug, but I like Scotland. I like Scotland being part of us. I have my England, I have my Wales mug, I have my Ireland mug, I even have my Team India mug, but I didn't have a Scotland mug, so I couldn't come out with it. But so send me a Scotland mug and you can have a in my mug t-shirt. But without getting too heavy and over political, I really hope that Scotland stays part. I'm very proud to be English, but I'm also very proud to be British, and Scotland very much feels part of that. But yeah, it'd be sad, but we'll move on, because politics and coffee don't mix, apparently, so I've been told. But it's good that this is topical. It's an interesting time for this coffee to be arriving. So in the cappuccino, listen, it's sweet, it's smooth. You lose a little bit of that acidity. You lose what makes it special in the espresso, because the milk's going to dilute that and highlight the sweetness. It's a very pleasant cappuccino, though. I've just sat there and gone, no, that was nice, and had a few sips, whereas normally I only have one, so that's good. But I know, again, it's going to be great here. So I'm drinking this in my Paris Marathon mug from 2012. Second time I'll be running in France. So just getting it all in. Now, it changes in the brewed for me. That papaya that I found in the espresso just turns into a big tropical fruit hit mix. It is so fruity, so clean and delicious. A truly excellent cup. And this is what Cup of Excellence is about. So we talked about it last week on the Focus On, and hopefully we're tasting it this week. It's a big flavour. It's delicious, it's clean, it's smooth. From a farm that we would never have found were it not for the Cup of Excellence. I wouldn't know these guys existed. And I tell you what, I'm really going to try and follow this up this year. I'd really like to try and buy this this year. They are somehow friends with Alejandro from Argentina. Ali knows everybody though, so I'm not surprised. But it's really cool. It's great coffee. So don't forget to visit those coffee shops that I talked to you about. Go have a read up about this coffee in case I missed anything while I was telling you about it. I hope I didn't. Thank you to the guys on the farm for this coffee. It's really good. It is something very, very special. And I've been spoiling you over the past few weeks, and I've still got some more surprises to come your way. So it's a good time to be an In My Mug subscriber. Listen, thank you very much as always for joining me. I really, really do appreciate your time. And do remember that, do you know what? We only live one life, and life is definitely too short for bad coffee.